So, my name is Tom Schroder. I work here in Public Relations. I wanted to say, welcome to Halloween Horror Nights 21. They tell me to speak very slowly because it's raining outside, so we're stalling a little bit now. A couple things I just want to do. Would everyone who is in here from the Public Relations Department raise your hand, please? Okay, there's 8 of us. These people are heroes. Many of you know them by first name. Can we just applaud my team, please? Also, we couldn't do this without our friends in catering. And our friends in entertainment, who not only do this, but they do that. So, I've been coming to Halloween for a long time. I've worked here for a long time. This is a really special year, and I'm so excited for you guys to have the opportunity to experience it. Jim Timon and his secretaries are going to come up and tell you about what they've done for Halloween Horror Nights 21. Fair to say, they've really raised the bar. So you guys are going to have a fun, scary time out there tonight. I really hope you enjoy yourselves. So I'll say hello for just a minute or two. Jim Timon will talk for a couple of seconds about what's going on out there tonight. Then we'll move you into tour groups. So when Jim is done, Brittany from Public Relations will come up and kind of talk with you about your tours and your different groups. So just kind of hang out, let her do that. If it's still raining, plenty of food, plenty of drinks, so just have a great time until the rain stops, okay? So, Jim Timon and his team have spent a year pulling together this event. They start planning for Halloween Horror Nights. I don't want to take too much of his words. They start planning for Halloween Horror Nights when it's still happening the year before. So I really would like Jim to have an opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about what's out there and what he does. So please welcome Jim Timon.
Good evening, everyone. I guess, yeah, that's an nasty green out there, so I have to talk longer than usual. I will try not to bore you all too badly. Let me start off. Usually I would ask how many have been to Halloween Horror Nights before. How many have never been to Halloween Horror Nights? Okay, there's a few. Okay. Welcome to number 21, for those of you. How many have been to all of them? Okay, yeah, just TJ Manarino, our Director of Design, has been to all of them. I would like, as Tom did, I would like to start off by thanking the design and production teams of Universal Entertainment. We do spend a year designing Halloween Horror Nights. We actually begin on number 22, about 10 days from now. We begin working on next year. And we're very excited about this year, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. We've had the pleasure today of talking to many of you from the media about Halloween Horror Nights 21. We've got a great night planned for you tonight. I think you're going to be very excited about it. 21's a great year for us. We had 20 great years before this one, and we really had to press and push and raise the bar for 21. We've gone to all new heights this year, and I think you'll see it tonight. Some really impressive, deep backstories in all of our haunted houses. 8 all new haunted houses this year, 6 scare zones, 2 shows, and I think you'll be impressed with really the depth of the backstories, as I mentioned. Some really impressive character development in the houses, scenic detail, some all new special effects and technologies that we've never tried before and never done. And as you move around the event tonight, I hope you get some time as you move through the houses to be able to really notice some of that detail. And I know as you split into your groups and go through the houses, I hope you do get the chance to look at some of the scenic detail, some of the character detail, and notice some of the special effects. We've also taken the opportunity to move some of the technologies that we've used in haunted house development before into the streets. And I won't give a lot of it away because I do want you to experience some of it firsthand. That the technology that we use in haunted houses where we have a lot of theatrical control is now being used in our scare zones outside in the streets as well. So that was the challenge for the creative and design and production teams, was to take Halloween 21 far above and beyond what we've done in the last 20 years. And one of the things Tom wanted me to really touch upon with some of the kind of the key highlights or some of the favorites that we really like in our haunted houses this year, and some of what you'll be seeing tonight. As you move around the event tonight, a couple of cool things to look at. And some of you saw this morning, as we did some of our live shots this morning, a really cool haunted house that you'll see tonight is in one of our sound stages. Winter's Night, the haunting of Hawthorne Cemetery, you'll see tonight. Who saw it this morning? Yeah, a few of you did. Now you would think Halloween Horror Nights over the last 20 years. Yeah, Tom.
Can I just ask the guys in the back of the room to give Jim a little opportunity to be heard, please? We can't, people in the front can't hear, so I'd be grateful for that. Thank you.
I'll tell him.
Thanks, Tom. As I mentioned, Tom asked me to point out a couple of the haunted houses and some of the kind of our personal favorites that we've kind of nursed and developed and grown throughout the past year. I mentioned Winter's Night, the haunting of Hawthorne Cemetery, is kind of a cool haunted house that has been close to our hearts. You would think in the last 20 years we would have done a cemetery haunted house. That's kind of a duh thing that you would have thought that Halloween Horror Nights had done. And we haven't. We have not done a classic haunted cemetery over the last 20 years. Well, we did this year. I think you're really going to like it. It's one of our favorites. It's a cemetery, and of course in a cemetery, the dead have come back. You're going to walk amongst them. The person who keeps the cemetery there has figured out that he can keep the dead contained as long as he's got a blue lantern light. You're going to walk amongst them, amongst the blue lantern light. You're safe as long as you stay inside the lantern light. What's cool about that haunted house, not only does, well, I shouldn't tell it. Tell us. You got to look for some special effects amongst the dead, because the dead do some things you can't. Yeah, it's really cool. Watch what some of the ghosts are capable of doing, especially when they kind of stop and look at you. If you're able to stop and look back at them, because they'll do some really cool things that I don't want to give away, but we spent some time developing some special effects with the dead. Not the Jerry Garcia dead, the dead in the haunted house. But Winter's Night is a very cool haunted house. We're very proud of it. And we spent a lot of time, again, developing that particular concept that you would think we would have done a long time ago. That's a fun house. Another one that we had a great time playing with that I think you'll enjoy, because we get a lot of opportunity occasionally to work with our friends at Universal Pictures out in Los Angeles. Next month, the new prequel to The Thing is coming out. John Carpenter's The Thing will come out next month. And we got a great opportunity to work with the filmmakers directly. Us and our partners at Universal Studios Hollywood developed a haunted house based on the prequel. And you're going to walk through it tonight. It is a direct lift from the movie. You're going to walk through the film. That's the easiest way to describe it. The sets are from the film. I can't be more accurate than to say that. The creatures are from the film. They are the creature molds directly from the movie, given to us by the filmmakers, and accurately to the nth detail recreated here by our artists at Universal Orlando. They're beautiful, and the scares are frightening in The Thing. I can't recommend that house highly enough. It's, I think, my personal favorite. You're going to love it. Anybody into literature? Yes. Okay, if you love Edgar Allan Poe, anybody's a Poe fan. This house has been in development for 3 years, TJ? Yeah, at least 2, yeah. Nevermore, The Madness of Poe. The stories of Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, Pit and the Pendulum, Black Cat. You're going to walk through the madness of Poe tonight in that house. And again, as you know, I talked a little bit about taking 21 to the next level. The detail in the scenic and the costuming and the theatrical control in that house, I gotta say, and I know I'm bragging, and that's because I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of our people and what we do. is really impressive. You're going to go through that house, scene by scene, room by room, and you're going to see costuming detail and seating detail we've never really achieved before in that environment. Very proud of Poe and that particular application in that house. So those are kind of, I'm giving you kind of my top three. Those are my top 3 houses. And TJ probably has a bunch of others, but those are my top 3 out of the 8. 6 scare zones, again, all new. And again, with some new technologies we've never tried before. I was talking to a couple of you earlier about digital image mapping, which, anybody is into science? We're using digital image mapping in the street this year, which is the ability to project on buildings and make them crumble before your eyes. See if you can find that in the streets tonight. We're doing that out there. It's kind of fun, and it distracts your eye. It'll make you look away from our characters, which is exactly what we want you to do, is look away, because it gives them the opportunity to attack. It's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure is back for its 20th year. If you're a Bill and Ted fan, they're back again for another romp through the pop culture of 2011, and a brand new show this year in its debut year, Death Drums. Some of you may have seen one of the Death Drum units driving by on its way out to try to beat the storm before it hit us. That's a brand new show concept this year, debut year. That'll run throughout the night. I think some of you, or hopefully all of you, will catch it later on in the evening after the storm passes. A great rhythmic acoustic show with a big dance unit that happens out in the streets. And that also is another new concept. So it's a big year for us. 21 was all about raising the bar and going above and beyond where we've been before. That was our creative mission. I think TJ and his team and all the production units really accomplished it. So that was kind of my prepared speech. We are still storming like mad outside. Tom, do you want me to take any Q&A? What would you like?
So now is when Jim does some acrobatics. Is he able to do that? Yeah. So here's what we'll do. It's still raining pretty seriously out there. They're telling us about another half hour of rain, give or take. So in a couple of seconds, happy for Jim to take some Q&A, but the plan is for us to open these doors. There's a theater in there, so you can go and sit down. Plenty of food, plenty to drink. Okay. But before you go in there, let's let Brittany come up and give you your tour information so you know what your tour group is before you start wandering a little bit. So Brittany's around. Okay, so let's do this. Let's give Jim an opportunity to answer any questions if you have them. And then Brittany will give you your tour groups. And once you figure out your groups, you can start to wander, right? You can go in there, you can get some more to eat or drink. Okay?
Yes. Oh, okay. The question was what made us decide on Lady Luck? Lady Luck was the product of of several creative concept discussions, because we know, as you're familiar with Halloween, we go through a lot of concept discussions about the icon of the event. Lady Luck came to us because of 21, in our 21st year. It became about choice and the ability to risk, and as we had those conversations about 21 and could you lose? And 21 is win-lose. And that's what it really became about. It wasn't physical gambling per se, but it was about choice. And win-lose and risk. And that clicked pretty quick with us. And Halloween Horror Nights is a bad choice. At the end of the day, it's fun, it's terrifying, but it's not where you want to be. And that's where Lady Luck came from, and we developed her out of that. And it was a natural icon for us. And the fact that she has two faces, the good that lures you into the bad, and the good choice that becomes bad. That's where Lady Luck came from. Yes, sir.
Did you decide to not go with the house? Did you decide to not go with the
The question was what made us decide not to go with the house for Lady Luck. we just felt that with Lady Luck, she was probably more strongly executed in the streets. And that's just kind of a creative choice. As we go through the process, sometimes an icon for us will present a stronger choice in a house execution, sometimes in a street execution. It's a little arbitrary, honestly, because it's subjective. And as we go through the process, Lady Luck just didn't really bring out to us in a house execution because it was a choice and again a risk aspect. We just felt that as we walked through the street, that scare zone kind of application was more appropriate for the house. And I just think this is a good choice. The question was about the scare zone that is a maze. There's a scare zone concept this year that's all new because it shifts and moves as you go through it, and it shifts and moves throughout the night. It's all black. It's blacked out completely, both in its scenic design and in its character and costume execution. So as you travel through it, the walls move and the characters shift and move. So not only as you physically move through it as you travel, throughout the night, as you revisit the street, the walls have moved, so you can't predict what the path of the scare zone is. So whether you transit in one direction and come back, or come back to it throughout the night, it's always different. So again, kind of a creative challenge that we have to make the experience new and different. That maze is new and different throughout the night. Again, kind of a new twist on the scare zone, more from the change. Okay, right.